What's up, YouTube? This is William from W&J Wrestling, and this is the pay-per-view review for TNA Hardcore Justice. The pay-per-view reviews for TNA is going to be a little different. It's mostly going to be a discussion over the results of the pay-per-view because I don't always watch TNA pay-per-views. It's very rare that I do. It has to be something that really catches my interest because it seems like every time I go to watch TNA pay-per-view, I'm just really not that impressed. And I feel like I kind of, lost some of my money, watching it. And so I tend to stray away from watching, ordering their pay-per-views. Like a lot of times if I can get it on a free streaming site, I'll try and watch it. But other than that, I really don't. But this is one of those I didn't watch it. I just read the results earlier. It sounded like the matches and all went pretty well. Some of the pictures they put up on their Facebook site. So it looked like it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. But for TNA, it's just not worth it to me to buy the pay-per-views. Okay, the first match was Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. They beat Kid Cash and Gunner in a match. From what I read, it was a solid tag match. A lot of back and forth. And Chavo and Hernandez won, which was pretty predictable. I didn't see any reason that Gunner and King Cash were going to win. It just seems like that's just kind of like a opening feud for Chavo working his way up into the company now. Next up, this was a match added later on, I think, by Dixie Carter. It was Devon versus Kazarian for the TV title. Devon beat Kazarian. This is again one of those times where like Devon is holding the television title and is not doing anything with it. Not that I think it would have done much on Kazarian because he's the tag champ with Daniels, and they're doing absolutely nothing with those belts either. So hopefully, like I said, after the Bound for Glory series, everything's going to start to get back in order. The tag titles can go to people who will actually, use them, and the television title can go to start like pushing more people on the roster at TNA. So we'll just see how that goes. Madison Rayne did beat Miss Tessmacher for the TNA Knockouts champion. I do believe Earl Hebner was the ref, but I think she actually beat her legitimately. And when I say legitimately, I can't remember if I read it was a roll-up or something. Or she put her feet on the rope and the ref didn't catch. Something like that. She did something to get like a cheap victory, but she got it. It wasn't controversial win because of the ref. So, new TNA knockouts, and I predicted that was going to happen because I just didn't see Brooke holding on to the belt. Like I said, she still needs some more polishing on her wrestling. Then Zema Ion beat Kenny King and retained the X Division title. I figured this was going to happen. It's like I said, Kenny King is still very new to TNA. He's only been with them for like a month and a half now, I think. And so, I didn't see them immediately giving, the X Division title to someone who's been with the company for so little time. Like I said, maybe at Bound for Glory, they can do, another match or maybe even another Ultimate X match or something with several other guys or just them. We'll see what happens there as the build-up to Bound for Glory comes. Bully Ray actually won this, and that was a little surprising to me. He beat Jeff Hardy and James Storm and Robbie in the tables match for 20 points. So now he is at 48. I believe he's now tied in 4th place with Kurt Angle. So that's good because I believe the Bound for Glory series is, I think, after this week on Impact, or the week after, it's going to cut to the top 4 from what I've read. And so right now he's got a good standing. James Storm is still in 1st place, I believe, with 66. Robbie Easton has 5 points, and Jeff's in 35. But Jeff has a match this week, but I believe Jeff isn't going to make it even if he wins by submission. That'd only put him at 45, and he'd still be behind Bully Ray. So unless Bully Ray and Kurt Angle were to somehow get... Actually, I think Jeff's match is against Bully Ray this weekend, so... I'm saying this weekend, this Thursday. So unless Bully Ray were to... Nope, that won't work, yeah. So yeah, Jeff isn't going to be making it into the top cut. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. RVD beat Anderson and Magnus in the Falls Count Anywhere match. I think this puts RVD. Yeah, RVD's either I believe is in third place behind Joe. And the reason the Pope wasn't in the match is because earlier on in the pay-per-view, they showed the Pope being attacked backstage by aces and eights. Which, I mean, regardless if he was in the match or not, it wouldn't have mattered for him. His score is far too low. And I don't know if Anderson has a match or not coming up. I forgot. But he's at 40 points. So if he were to pick up like a submission victory, he could put himself in the top. But the way it's looking, I doubt he's going to make it into the top of the BFG series. And Magnus has only got like 28 points, so he definitely won't be making it. Next up, AJ Styles won the ladder match, and I understand why AJ won, is because he was the safe pick to not overdo anyone's score and interfere with the top, because clearly neither AJ Styles or Christopher Daniels is going to be in the top of the Bound for Glory series. AJ's at 36, I believe Daniels is at 33 or 35, something like that. So neither one of them at this point can make it into the BFG series top four, but Kurt Angle and Joe are already there. So they already had incredibly high scores as it is. Like I said, Kurt's already has a 48. Joe already has, I think it's 50. It's 50 something, like 59, I think. So by letting Styles win, who had a very low score, I think it was 16. Yeah, that just made it to where these two wouldn't go in with an overpowered score, and Daniels would have won. It would have put him in that 50s category. So it was a smart pick by TNA to give AJ the win. But like I said, it's just they're gonna get cut out of the top four, and it's gonna go into them. And then last up, Austin Aries beat Bobby Roode to retain TNA Heavyweight Championship. So right now, my feeling is that James Storm is not going to win the Bound for Glory series. I'm sure in some way or another, TNA is going to build up for Bobby Roode versus James Storm. You know, their rematch from Lockdown at Bound for Glory is, you know, one of their big matches of the night. And I'm really waiting to see if, you know, my prediction about Austin Aries being the one in charge of Aces and 8. Because it would just create for an interesting storyline if he is. So, overall, this was a pretty decent pay-per-view. It wasn't bad. I probably wouldn't mind watching this one. Just like I said, I just can't waste money for TNA pay-per-views every time, because they're very hit or miss. And, you know, WWE is the same way as well sometimes, but I would, at least most of the time, WWE does provide a lot of quality matches. Not saying that TNA doesn't, but TNA just, they lack in a lot of areas. So I guess both companies have their up and downs. I guess my preference is just more WWE than it is TNA, but I still try to keep up what's going on with TNA. All right, YouTube. This has been the pay-per-view review. Thank you for watching.